World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day, I am Peñano with today's World News in 5. The United Nations say civilian casualties in Ukraine reached their highest monthly level in more than 4 years last June. UN Political Affairs Chief Rosemary DiCarlo told the Security Council that 265 civilians were killed and 1,816 others injured in June, the highest combined monthly toll since the early months of Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022. The UN says the increase was driven by intensified Russian aerial attacks on Kiev and other cities, with the trend continuing into July. Since the war began, the UN has verified more than 16,400 civilians' deaths and over 48,000 injuries, while stressing that the actual figures are likely higher. In our news, Spain says U.S. President Donald Trump has softened his criticism of Madrid after tensions at the NATO summit. Spanish officials said Trump acknowledged Spain's increased defense spending after earlier calling the country a terrible partner and threatening to halt trade. Madrid said it has met NATO's previous target of spending 2% of GDP on defense, though it continues to oppose the alliance's proposed 5% goal by 2035. Despite the diplomatic row, Spanish officials say they have seen no impact on trade or investment, while Washington is reportedly reviewing possible trade measures against Spain. Meanwhile, in Syria, Syrian authorities say they have arrested the group behind this week's bomb attacks in Damascus. Interior Minister Anas Katab said the cell responsible for the bombings is now in custody, adding that authorities will reveal the suspects' identities and links once the investigation is complete. 2 bombs exploded near a hotel where French President Emmanuel Macron had stayed during his visit to Syria, wounding 18 people. The attacks overshadowed Macron's trip, the first by a European Union head of state since the ouster of former President Bashar al-Assad. In China, at least 28 people have died after a fire swept through a shoe factory in southeastern China. The blaze broke out at a footwear factory in Xinjiang, Fujian province, trapping workers inside the multi-story building. State media said 239 people were inside when the fire started. More than 200 workers were evacuated, while authorities confirmed 28 deaths. China's President Xi Jinping ordered an all-out rescue effort and called for those responsible to be held accountable as investigators look into the cause of the fire. And in Congo, Ebola response workers in the Democratic Republic of Congo have protested over delayed pay as the country's outbreak continues to spread. Dozens of frontline health workers gathered outside treatment centers in Bunia, saying they had not received full payment for their work. The health ministry acknowledged problems with processing payments, while the Africa CDC said it is working with Congolese authorities to speed up compensation. The latest Ebola outbreak has infected 1,759 people and claimed 600 lives, with the World Health Organization warning that transmission is continuing. And that concludes today's edition of World News in 5. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, I am Peñano. Good day.
World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.